Hello everyone, I'm Raijin Rising, and I am here to let you know that I am going to be one of the many fandom presenters of the RWBY Volume 8 Ozcars. If you don't know what the Ozcars are, Murder of Birds and Calxiyn did them last year for Volume 7 as a Academy Awards style parody award show to just sort of celebrate Volume 7 in a brand new way that was bigger than anything that had really come before it. And now they're iterating on it for Volume 8, and it is even well beyond that. As I said, they've brought on so many different fandom members as community presenters that we're going to be, hosting and presenting the awards from all around the world. And it is so crazy to see all of this coming together. This has been in the works for so long. And it's such a big undertaking that we have absolutely no idea when it is going to release as a video, but you can participate in it right now by voting for the different awards. I have a link in the description, and I'm going to take you through it. Okay, so here is the official document where you can vote on the RWBY Volume 8 Ozcars. Now, just looking at this, you can already see that if you were involved in this last year, if you did vote last year, that there are already quite a few changes. Last year, you could only vote on one entry in the category, but this time there is a new poll ranking system where you vote for the top 5 that you're looking for, and it gives them a point value based on that so that there's not any one runaway winner. As much as we loved to see Mero sweep the hell out of the Oscars last year, you can only have so much of that. So, just by looking at the first one, you have the best episode. You can vote for all 14. By the way, I recommend doing this on a PC or a computer or laptop if you can. It is mobile friendly, but only so mobile friendly. Like, even on a PC, you have to scroll to see all of the different nominees, and it's even more like that for most of the categories on your phone. So you can do it on your phone, and I would recommend voting that way if that's the only way you can, because we should get as many people involved in this as possible, because this is such a great celebration of fandom. But if you can do it on PC, do it on PC. So I have not voted yet because I don't want to spoil you guys, but let's just say that the top 5 are these 5 episodes. You vote, and it'll give the first chapter 5 points, 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point. And when the voting is all said and done, it's the accumulation of points, not necessarily the accumulation of votes, that determines a winner for that category. So, this one's pretty self-explanatory, but there are some categories like the best scores that are somewhat hard to wrap your head around, maybe if you don't follow and really dissect all of the different things that go into the production of the show. So for the best scores, what Arnold has done is he has collaborated actually with Changyuraptor for this category to decide on 10 moments in the show that have fantastic score accompaniments, musical accompaniments in the background as the score. And you can watch the video to get a refresher on exactly what this category is about. So as you can already see, even besides the point system, the voting process is already so much more complicated than it was last year, but there are these handy dandy little markers that show you exactly what category or what nominee you have. And as you can see, it's saying vote for the music only. You're not dissecting, you're not trying to vote for anything else about these scenes, just the background music. Then we have the 7 songs that are confirmed to be on the soundtrack for Every Life. This one is the intro song, The Sky is Falling. That was for Volume 8, Chapter 4. During the chase scene, The Truth is Cinder's Servitude song. Treasure is the song for when the heroes reunite in Chapter 10 at the very end. Be Strong and Hit Stuff, that is against Ironwood at the start of Chapter 12. And Friend is the tearjerker song for the end credits. We have the similar thing for best lighting, so you can go through and see, okay, which exactly am I the most a fan of? And then you can vote for the top 5. Best VFX. There's a lot of different production elements here that we're voting for, so I like that a lot. I like how involved truly the production is in this, and it's not just necessarily things that the fandom itself might think about wanting to vote for. These are definitely kinds of categories that you could actually see being in the Academy Awards, and it's not necessarily something like Best Aesop, even if Marrow, again, for Volume 7, definitely earned that award. This one I like a lot. Best Environment. You know, a lot different things go into the production of an environment that you might only see for one chapter, like the bar in Chapter 1. That does come up in Chapter 5 for the Amity broadcast, but, you know, still. And then this one, you know, I like this a lot because we have the end credits of every chapter showing off a little bit of concept art, a little bit of matte paintings, a little bit of mood paintings. So we have a compilation of all the different concept art, and you can vote on this here. This one, I was actually somewhat surprised to see this one being in the Oscars, but I do like this a lot, and I think it really helps the award show being very encompassing. You have all of the different merch collections that have come out over the course of the volume, ending with this one being the different, this is the most recent merch collection that dropped. So you have the voting here, and you can see this, and it gives you the numbers. So you can say, I liked number 8 the best, number 8 being the mugs, or whatever you want to vote for. Then we get into the different categories that are in, that we saw a lot of during Volume 7, like voice actor, voice actress in a supporting role, then leading role, voice actor, voice actress. This one's a fun one. This is, again, this one has a reference, Best Fandom Meme. So you can go through that, and you have for Bill, Weiss getting ejected, she was an imposter, things like that, Talking Dog. I think this one Arnold made. Team Arcos, otherwise known as the people who killed Penny. Remnant's Chew Toy, when somebody edited a squeaky toy over all of the different times that Oscar got bodied by the Hound in Chapter 2, before after RWBY. But that one is seeing all of these different ones. If you've seen this on Twitter, definitely at the very start of the volume is when they showed up the most. But it's the idea of taking the Volume 8 intro, having it for RWBY, Weiss, Blake, and Yang, and expanding on that and showing a bunch of different characters here. So you got Salem, and I think mine showed up in here as well in this video. Yeah, I made this one. This one was cool. I made this one. And, RIP. Then we have Best Monologue and Speech. So these are, okay, so now that we've gotten through a lot of the different production element ones, now these are a lot of more fun categories, I'd say. So this one doesn't even have 5 entries, so you can only vote for your top 4 on it. But the different monologues, you know, everyone gets caught monologuing. Then we have tearjerker moments, a lot of death. And Best Reveal, Best Twist, Funny Moment, Relationship Development. This one's actually pretty interesting, and we've got a hell of a lot of different relationships that never really developed before, you know, especially with the different, you know, RWBY's group going out to do Amity, and then Yang's group going out to do the mission to help Mantle. That immediately takes a turn. So we have a lot of different relationships that maybe never would have even developed until Volume 8 at all. But now, I mean, here we are, like Blake and RWBY, RIP. Best male character in a minor role, female character in a minor role, you know, I will say, okay, so actually, the supporting role has Weiss, Blake, and Yang in it, and the lead role has Penny in it, but this is the minor role for characters who might have only shown up for 1 or 2 different chapters. I think that, you know, even though Weiss, Blake, and Yang are in the show's namesake, we have to look at this in terms of, like, what did they actually do for this volume? So Jacques Schnee had a arguably bigger role in Volume 4, Volume 7 especially as well, but he's kind of an afterthought in this volume. And for someone like Penny, even though in the grand scheme of things she is a supporting role character in the show itself, she's definitely a main character for Volume 8. She has such a great character arc, such a big, expansive character arc in this volume. So she's definitely a main character for Volume 8, even though in the show itself, she is a supporting character. And, you know, even though Weiss, Blake, and Yang are going to be around for the entirety of the show, most likely, they are, for Volume 8, because this is such a grand story, they're honestly more of supporting characters. And that's something that I didn't like the idea of back in Volume 7. I definitely went against the grain on that. You know, here's best male character in a supporting role. Okay, yeah, so here you can see Blake, Weiss, and Yang in supporting role. Then we have leading role for Jean, Ren, Oscar, Ozpin, Ironwood, and Hazel. And female character, here we've got Penny, Winter. So we have all of these different characters. It's such a grand story that somehow, surprisingly, does manage to give all of the characters that it's trying to give time to, you know, relatively speaking, it does, I would say, a good job of juggling so damn much. And for somebody like, you know, Salem, who doesn't have that many scenes, we still get the most out of her. You know, we still get the impact that she's trying to make on the volume. Salem really does come through. Best antagonist, there are so many different major and minor antagonists of this volume, but, you know, I'd say all of them definitely made the impact that they meant to, and we have a couple different new characters for this volume, some of which we'll never see again. I think Ambrosius is the only one we'll ever see again, but they have their own category. Oops. Redesign, you know, so many different new outfits this volume, so let's give a shout out to those. Best fight, best new Grim. This is the final category. Sulfurfish, Centaur. This is what Blake and Ruby were fighting in the Hound episode, Chapter 8. And then the Hound itself and the Ravagers, which we see at the end in Vacuo. So, just to close out a little bit here, the Volume 8 Oscars are just so encompassing of the volume in so many different ways. And the fact that, you know, this much care and attention was put into all of these different nominees, and we have so many different fandom presenters. This is such a great way to iterate on the Oscars that we had in Volume 7. Again, if you did see that I am just honestly so excited to see where this goes. That I am involved at all in this is insane, and I do know the category I'll be presenting, but I am going to keep it vague for now. So, you know, what category do you like the most that they've added for the Volume 8 Oscars? Who do you think is getting snubbed? I'll see you for the Volume 8 Oscars, but let me know down below. I'm Raijin Rising. Have a good one.